candidates, today is our third day or third session. In our first two sessions, to revamp, on the first day I had given a synopsis about SSBs and then the psychological tests. In those psychological tests, on day 2, Mansa Vacha Karmana was the mantra. That is for whole of the SSB. And today you will realize after the session that how Mansa is tested during your psychological test that was in your previous lecture, and today Karmana section, that is action. So in the GT section, that is group task, there are a number of activities. In those activities, the assessor, that is GTO, Group Task Officer, who is a trained officer, and there are total of 9 activities in GT, that is ground task, and in those ground tasks, these activities are designed in such a manner that you are tested individually, in group, and as a commander. So different activities focus upon these qualities. In GTO, how you perform in a group, individually and as a commander. The GTO will be watching you very, very closely. And as I said, the 9 activities, those activities are your group discussion, your progressive group task, your half group task, individual obstacles, your military planning, and these activities are testing you differently. The mantra today is that actions speak louder than the words. The GTO watches you in action. So to start with, the first activity is your group discussion, and these group discussions are of 2 types. In first group discussion, the GTO gives you the topic, and this activity is for 20 minutes. When the GTO gives you the topic, this topic is some debatable nature, so that there will be a discussion and no conclusion is required to be reached. GTO gives 2 topics, and in that 2 topics, the group decides 1 topic. Here is the difference, that 2 topics are given and the group decides to go with 1 topic. And after discussing the topic, the group is asked to discuss on the topic. Here, you must remember that all those 15 qualities which are forming the basis for whole of the SSB, you must be remembering in each activity, and in also group discussion, when it is thrown open in the group, who takes initiative. who influence the group, who shows the better communication, who shows the liveliness. Though you are discussing on the topic, yet you are being watched for all these qualities. So along with, when you put forth your point, also remember these things, that you are showing your officer-like qualities. And these officer-like qualities should not be shown artificially. It should come from within, and it requires practice. It requires that nature. When you practice, when you be like an officer, when you behave like an officer, then these qualities will automatically come. There are certain things, do's and don'ts. In group discussion, motivate others, do not suppress, be flexible, be cooperative. One cannot be a bully, but a person who is of cooperative nature, who is lively, who accepts others, is acceptable in the group. So the social adaptability, that factors come into play. On the cursory note, it may look to you that it is only the group discussion and only the subject is given, one is speaking on the subject, but that is not so. Your character as a whole is being judged. As I said, SSP is a compact thing. Every activity is a designed one with a purpose. And understand the broader purpose. And to understand that, you must remember that all those 15 qualities, which are core qualities for an officer, to be kept in mind while behaving in SSP or otherwise in life as well. And the second topic of group discussion, that is given by the GTO. Here there is no choice. A topic is given to the group by the GTO, but the difference is this topic is of social nature. Maybe the women empowerment, social media, use of social media, and so on and so forth. There can be so many subjects. Because in first group discussion, the group decides, and in second one, the GTO gives. So it is to see whether you are prepared for a subject which is given to you randomly. Both the group discussions are for 20 minutes each, thus it takes 40 minutes. Yet, I would remind that both the group discussions are similar in nature. The points noted are similar, that is your knowledge on the subject, your ability to speak, that is communication skills, your knowledge, that is that should be profound one, your ability to influence the group, your acceptability, your initiative, your body language, all these things are checked in this group discussion. And during this, after the group discussion, in the ground task, the group discussions are at 3 levels. The first one, as I said, that is purely group discussion, and the next time there is a military planning or group planning. Here a map is given, that is the second activity. A map is given to the group, and this map is given by the GTO, and the group is asked to read it carefully, to familiarize themselves with the terrain, and then the GTO gives multiple tasks. These are the problems or the tasks. When the group is there, it counters multiple problems, and the GTO asks you to write your solution in 10 minutes. And when each individual writes his or her solutions of those problems, then the group is asked to discuss. Because once everyone writes the solutions as per the perception, ability, the solutions given by each candidate will be different. So the group is asked to decide how to address those problems. The points to remember here is your priorities are checked. What is your priority? To remind you that nation comes first, then the welfare of the subordinates or the people placed under you. But self will be the last one. This is the buzzword. And here, another thing to be kept in mind is always resources are limited. You go anywhere at any stage in your life, that resources are limited. They will always be in demand. So there has to be a resource management. All your resources to be used to the maximum, to the fullest of their utilization, and as per the requirement, as per the priority setting. So once the planning is already there with everyone, then the planning is discussed amongst the group. And after the discussion, here it is to be remembered that one should be flexible. If you have missed out some point, if some group member has come out with a better planning, you must accept. One cannot be rigid to his or her own planning when there is a lacuna pointed out, when a lacuna is brought out in that, or some other person's planning is better one. It's always good to correct and go with the group when the better planning is presented by one of your colleagues. So in that, one person is nominated. The group nominates a person. The group nominates a person to read or to narrate to the GTO a common planning of the group. If you are nominated due to your ability to influence the group, it is nice. If you are not nominated, support the group. Because how do you behave in the team? Your individual self or individual capabilities are tested, that I will tell you subsequently. But here, in this particular case, in your military planning or group planning, your group behavior is tested. After the two activities done, the third one is your individual obstacle test. In a ground, there are 10 obstacles. There are 10 obstacles. Each individual is asked to perform, to complete these obstacles. The time given is 3 minutes. So you have to quickly understand that setup. Do not waste the time. And if you have finished the individual obstacles, then you can repeat those obstacles. The purpose of individual obstacle is to check your individual physical ability, to test your physical ability. There have been cases wherein people are hesitant, the scary of heights. Such candidates will stand out. The obstacles are not very strenuous, but they are gradually increasing in difficulty, and these obstacles are scientifically designed. Of course, they test your physical abilities, but at the same time, along with your physical ability, if there is a mental block, maybe you are balancing a road, monkey crawl, jumping over the wall. If somebody is scary of height, double jump, tiger's leap, going through a tire. So each obstacle is planned in such a way that they test your physical ability, plus if there is any taboo in your mind, if there is any block in your mind, that will be seen. As I said in the beginning, the group test activities are of three nature. Individual test, so individual test your individual capability, that is this. And your previous two, as I said, group discussion, military planning, these are to test your group behavior. And the fourth one is lecturate. The fourth activity in ground task is lecturate. This is again test of individual qualities. That is, here your communication skills are tested, your knowledge base is tested, your confidence is tested. In the individual lecturate, you are given 4 topics. You are given a placard on which 4 topics are mentioned, and in that 4 topics, you have to pick up one. So each individual given a placard and picks up one topic, that is subsequently. Once you pick up your topic, you are asked to come out of the group, address to the group, speak on that subject for 3 minutes. So in this test, how much knowledge you have on the topic, what is your communication skill, are you making eye contact, Are you confident? Your body language? In this particular test, you have to speak on that subject or that topic for 3 minutes. So my advice in this, do not fall short of time. Complete your lecture in 3 minutes. You will be given warning. Conclude it immediately. But if you conclude it before 3 minutes, that means you have nothing more to say. So prepare in such a manner that your lecture finishes in 3.5 minutes, but when the warning is given to you, you should be able to conclude your lecture in next 10 seconds. So 3 minutes is the time, maybe you stretch for another 10 seconds, but not more than that. Prepare for at least 20 to 30 topics, so that you can come out with the facts, you can influence, and you can speak fluently. Now, after these 4 activities, you are given a progressive group task, that is PGT, progressive group task. So in this, a group of almost 10 candidates will be there, and that 10 candidates group is asked to complete ground obstacles. Generally they are 4. And these obstacles are to be cleared by the group, not by the individual. The most important thing here is listen carefully. Listen carefully. Listen what the GTO says, what he briefs. So in this particular activity, listening to the instructions is most important. There are certain do's and don'ts he explains, which the candidates are to do and not to do. Certain rules which are to be abided by. And the obstacle given by the GTO to the group is generally it is increasing into difficulty. The first one will be easier, the second one a little tougher, the third one, the difficulty level will be increasing. So in this progressive group task, participate, your team spirit, give valuable suggestions which GTO should listen. Once again, here, how do you perform in the team? That is tested. How you perform in the team, that is tested, not the individual capabilities. How the people accept you, how practical you are, how observant you are. Motivate the other people. Take the responsibility. Give the credit. Cheer up to your fellows. These are the things to be remembered in this particular activity. The most candidates make a mistake. that they think the obstacles are only to be cleared. This is an objective, may look to the candidate, but the GTO is looking for all those 15 qualities while you are at work, while you are performing. So this is always to be kept in mind, that whatever activity you do during the whole of the SSB, your qualities, your those officer-like qualities are being tested in different forms. So in the progressive group task, how you contribute to the group, how practical you are, do you have the solutions of the problem? Can you scientifically or innovative ideas? So these are the things tested in your progressive group task. In your progressive group task, the group being a little larger of 10 people, a few candidates may miss out, or the GTO may miss out. He may like to observe a few candidates more closely. So he divides the group or shortens the group. That is half group task. In that half group task, now the group is shortened, so the activities are performed by lesser number of people and the participation by each individual will be larger. Now the GTO can confirm his doubts, reconfirm, and an opportunity given to the candidates so that the candidate who may have missed out in the progressive group task, full progressive group task, in this one can perform. The next is command task. The next is command task. As in the beginning I said, in the group task activities, 3 things are checked. That is your individual capabilities, that is checked in your lecturate, individual obstacles, and in your group task, military planning, half group task, your team spirit, how you behave in a team is checked. And now the third factor comes into play, that is in command task. How you behave, how you command the troops or the people placed under you. In the command task, you are made the commander of the team, the leader of the group, and you are asked to select 2 or 3 persons to perform a task or to lead a group. Here, remember that you do not perform the task by yourself. Explain it, brief to your group that what is the task at hand, how it will be done, who will be doing what. Be clear in your instructions, in your orders. Once you are made commander or the leader of the group is at your disposal. So doing by the task done by the individual is of no consequence here. Motivate how you motivate to the people, how you take the responsibility. If you do not shout, do not accuse, but motivate the group. Give clear instructions to the group. Take care of them. Take care of their safety. So all these things are checked. Your leadership qualities in command task. Also there is an activity that is called snake race. Earlier in Airforce SSBs it was not there. Army was following it. So in this, the group is asked or explained a few rules, maybe color codes. In that, a rope is given, and that is to be at any given time. That rope is to be held by at least 3 persons. There are areas which are marked, maybe red, blue, white, or the color code can be changed by the GTO. But the color code is for, in one area, only a man can be there. In another one, man and material, both can be there. And in the third, no man or material can be there. That is red zone. My piece of advice here, particular for the repeaters, if a candidate has gone previously to an SSB and not recommended, he or she feels that he knows about the rules. So they take it lightly, they tend to take it lightly. And once you don't listen to the instructions, you will not be able to follow those instructions. So the instructions are to be followed meticulously, in a manner that you follow the areas, you follow the rules. If there is a foul, go back to the starting point. If the instructions are not heard, not followed, it is likely that the group will come back even at the end of the given time at the starting point. If the instructions are followed meticulously, the group progresses. The group progresses. Now, the next activity final group task. As I said, the progressive group task, half group task, even after that, a few candidates may miss out. So the final group task is given. This is an opportunity for both the assessor, who may like to watch closely a candidate for certain qualities, and for an individual, that if somebody has missed out in full group task or half group task, can perform at the final group task. So these are the activities done during your ground test. Now I would like to take upon the questions. I can see a question, how do we prepare topic on group discussion? As I said, the group discussion, the GTO gives you the topic and the group chooses one of them, and in second one the topics are of social nature, of current nature. The books are available and you should be seeing, you should be current with the topics. And if you are current with the topics, excuse me, if you are current with the topics and prepare a number of group topics, your as I said, the question is, how do we prepare topics on group discussion? So group discussion topics, current topics and the topics of social nature. So you prepare at least for 20 to 30 topics, and current topics what are relevant you should be going through. Keep yourself updated. Books are also available. Read magazines, watch newspapers, read newspapers, watch TV, read good books, so you will be able to perform better in your lecturate and GD. The another question is, how can we prepare ourselves well for the group discussion? This is a very comprehensive question, that in group discussion, the first thing is you should be having profound knowledge of the subject given to you. And once you have knowledge, you will be confident. You will be with the positive body language. You will be able to influence the group. You will be able to initiate the debate. And of course, the communication skills. Communication skills form all these things. Make eye contact. You can make small little hand gestures, hand movement. So these are a few tricks for group discussion. But the profound knowledge has no substitute. You will be able to perform better if you are well prepared on the topic. Your qualities of initiative, ability to influence the group, your body language, and your communication skill. With all these things, you will be able to perform better. I'll take another question. Now the question is, how How can we prepare ourselves for GD? The repeated question, as I said, command task and progressive group task similar. So command task and progressive group task are not similar. They are different in nature. The very motive of these tests is different. As I said, during your ground test, the three things are being tested. That is your individual test, that is your behavior in a group, and your behavior or your capabilities to command the group. So in the group task, how you perform in a team, your cooperation, your liveliness, ability to influence, all these things are checked. But in a command task, though the task is maybe similar, but what the GTO is testing you, what the qualities you're looking for are different. Here your ability to command, your ability to clearly instruct the group, your ability to take the responsibility, your confidence, that is checked. So the task may be similar, but in group task you participate in that task, but in command task you instruct or give, not only to give ideas, but you motivate your group to complete the task. So two different qualities are being checked to group task and your command task. Another question, how many marks are awarded for GTO tasks? The marks allocation is with the SSB, so one is not required to bother about that. If you perform well, you will be recommended. The marks are divided equally, that is for psychological tests, your ground task, and your for interview. That on conference day, the next lecture I will be taking on interview and conference day. On that day I will be discussing and taking on this question, but this question is not to bother the candidates because the marks allocation is not much of importance. The most important thing is you perform to best of your ability with those qualities. Always keep in mind and move forward. Any questions from your side? Any more questions? Thank you, gentlemen. With this, we come to the conclusion of today's lecture, and the next lecture will be on conference, that is on the last day, but before that, interview. So both of them I will be taking a class on interview and your conference. With this I have finished. Jai Hind. Thank you so much for listening patiently.